Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Russell Jackman. Mike McDowd is off on assignment today. At each commercial break, we are going to ask a trivia question. Also, we want to welcome WatchSMSN.com, serving Indiana and beyond. SMSN Radio, your home for sports. Thanks to CEO and founder Brian Snow. All right, let's see here. And today we've got for our trivia a little bit of literature, which actually I think you're going to get all three of these questions correctly.
Okay, good. I'm pretty well read.
Yeah, oh, okay. Well, then that'll make it that much better. All right. Where do you want to start, my friend? We have just a couple of minutes for our quick intro. What are we going to tell the audience we're going to talk about?
I've got something I'm saving for the second when we have the full time to talk. So I'm not gonna mention it right now because and you're not gonna find it very pleasant. So but I want you have it coming to you. So it's something that will be you'll be on the torture rack for a little bit.
What did I do to deserve what's going to happen to me?
It's how you vote in 2024. That's what you're going to have to face the music. You're going to have to face the music for that. But I have other sports stuff to talk about first. So
that's good. And I got to say that I am definitely enjoying these NBA finals so far. The teams are fairly evenly matched. So far, this is we've had game 3, and interestingly enough, all the away teams have won the game so far. All been fairly close.
Yeah, and courtside seats for the New York Knicks are not only, if you want to buy them as a standard human being, it's going to cost you $125,000. That's your sports econ moment for you. In fact, there were some seats that set a record for the most expensive seats sold at a sporting event. They were $1 million.
Really? Okay, we're going to get back. All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. Yes. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown along with Russell Jackman. So you teased the audience with telling them that some seats went for $1 million for Game 3, for which was the first
those well-heeled celebrities like Ben Stiller and so forth paid $1 million for their seats so that the money can go to charity. So that is good news, is the money is being donated to charity, but they bought it through the Knicks, and the Knicks donated that money.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so technically the way, and I'm not giving anyone tax advice, but so ask your tax advisor about this. But the interesting thing there is that the tax deduction won't be $1 million for, let's say, Ben Stiller. It'll be $1 million less the quote value of that ticket, which is going to be up for grabs.
125, yeah. So
$100,000. So 900,000 will be done. What kind of charity?
I think it's a neighborhood charity for the Knicks. It's it goes to New York residents. So that's the plus.
That's a pretty sweet, because it's funny. I look and I go, I don't care how rich you are or how rich I would be. I wouldn't pay that kind of money. I wouldn't pay $100,000 for a ticket. But if you're going to be doing your charities anyway, $1 million and you get, let's say, a $900,000 deduction. Yeah, okay. I mean, if I was going to give $1 million away anyway, I could kind of see that then, doing it that way, right?
Sure. I mean, and you get to go see the game, which
that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I mean, rather than just give $1 million, which is fine, give $1 million away is fine, but you might as well at least enjoy a game. And you don't get $1 million deduction, you get a $900,000 deduction. $900,000 is all the same.
Now, here's your comeuppance, and that is the incredible embarrassment that was Donald J. Trump's appearance at that game.
Because
absolutely shameful, absolutely embarrassing.
Wait, because he just went to, what did he do at the game?
No, it isn't just because he just went. First of all, making his mind up at the last second to go to that game cost people hours in line for security. That they had to up the security for that event to such a high level that they were checking everybody, of course, because, hourly people are trying to assassinate Trump. In fact, I have a feeling that before his term is over, that there'll be a corporate sponsor for each for each assassination attempt he has. That's gonna be something that somebody like corporate sponsors, because
Well,
this
yeah,
assassination attempt has been brought to you by, you
yeah.
know,
Oh,
fill in the
God.
blank.
That's a little macabre there, my friend.
Well,
Um,
it's happening, now we've had 5 of them, in the last, year and a half. So nobody has tried to assassinate somebody harder
no,
than,
but I
Trump.
think
But
it's kind of interesting. It's like there are a lot of people, let's just say complete right-wing wackos who completely disagreed with Obama and Biden. And I don't remember anyone on the right trying to assassinate them.
oh, they did, but A, he didn't make a big spectacle of it, and B, they didn't get close enough to him. And I don't know what Trump's problem is, but people keep getting a lot closer to him than they got
Yeah,
to a lot of other
well,
presidents.
they
But
definitely got
that
close
being said,
to Pennsylvania for sure.
the
But
rousing number of boos that
I
he
heard that.
got,
I wasn't sure if that was for him or Mamdani.
really,
Well,
you
you're
think
80.
it was for Mondami? You really
Okay, but
do? Do you?
no, no,
Hold
no.
on,
No,
hold on a second. Hold on
I-
a second. Do you really think they were for Mondami?
no, no, no.
When the camera was on him,
I know they were booing for Trump. And the thing is,
yes,
when you're talking about New York, it's
yes.
hold on. Just like if this was Washington D.C., you're going to get there's a lot of people, and it's interesting because I guess you're going to get a whole spectrum of both right and left going to a basketball game. Obviously, if he was at the Daytona 500, there wouldn't be all those boos. I get it, but
Those boos have followed him from the Super Bowl to the World Series, and now to yes, yeah, he was booed in the World Series. You forgot about that when he showed up at the World Series in his
yeah.
first term, and he got the hell booed out of it.
Let me ask you, back to when did he decide he was going to the game? The first game at Madison
When he
Square?
heard it would be such a huge, big deal that
No, no, no.
the sporting event that everyone was going to be paying attention to.
No,
He's
well,
not a
no,
Knicks fan.
that doesn't give me a date. It's not like he said 2 hours ahead of time. Like, oh, boom, I'm going to go to the game. He didn't he say like a few days ahead of time?
You
Like
can't
when
do it
the
if you. I mean, the fact is, he had no business being there. He's not an NBA fan. He's not a Knicks fan. And he's certainly not a fan
au contraire, Monsieur. He's been a Knicks fan since they won it in '73. You didn't know
I've
that?
never seen him at courtside at a single Knicks game this
Well,
year.
oh
He
yes,
hasn't gone.
he's not like the other president who would go to the beach 40% of his presidency. This
No,
guy
this guy's golfing 60%
after
of his
work.
presidency.
You know?
And he was booed. He should have known how much people, you just said yourself, he's never been popular in New York. He's as popular in New York as he is in California, which is not at all.
Except, interestingly enough, in the 19, I think it was I think it was 86 or 87, when Ed Koch did a terrible job on that ice skating rink. He was over budget. It was taking too long, and it was done wrong, and all this kind of stuff. Trump, when he lived in, hate him or love him, I'm just giving you the facts, okay? He came in, he said, you know what? Let me just take this thing over. He did it months ahead of schedule. He did it under budget, and he did a beautiful job. And you know what? New York loved him. But he gets into politics, and suddenly, boo.
No,
Because
that's not even a part of it. He's been hated as a real estate guy in New York since the 80s,
yeah,
even before politics. That New
no,
York is.
you're 100% right.
And if you saw what a mess Atlantic City was in the 90s, which I went to go visit, Atlantic City was a dump, and he ruined it. He absolutely made Atlantic City an untenable city. He ran it into the ground by driving his casinos into bankruptcy. But that has nothing to do with last night. That has nothing to do with last night. Last night, he hogged the spotlight. People booed him, and on top of everything, he fell asleep during the game. He fell asleep
during the game or before the game?
During the game.
Oh, okay. I didn't see them panning to him during the game.
No, because they were too embarrassed. But lots of people shot pictures of him with their cell phones of him falling asleep and snoring away during the game.
Was it better for Obama to be sitting with Raul Castro at a White Sox game? That's okay. He's just a Cuban, dictator. That's okay.
Stop the whatabouts. Stop the whatabouts. Focus. Okay, focus on the fact that your beloved leader couldn't sit through one of the most exciting
Very
games
good.
of the year. He's not capable of it. He's too old and too out of it to sit through a basketball game.
Hold on. When think about it for just a second. When he's in the Oval Office, forget the basketball game for a minute. When he's in the Oval Office, or no, not the Oval Office, but when he's having these cabinet meetings, hour after hour, day after day, and he gives the press all this time. You and I, my friend, together could not keep up with him. I guarantee.
You know what? I didn't fall asleep during last night's game, and I can see Dolan, who's as old as Trump, falling asleep at last night's game. In fact, find me one other person in that entire arena who fell asleep during that game.
That's going to be your whole argument because he fell asleep during part of the game?
No, I'm saying the entire thing was an embarrassment, from causing people to be hours late because of the security concerns, by mugging for the camera when thousands of people were booing for him, and then falling asleep during the game, shows no respect for what was considered a top sports event for the United States of America. And I'm embarrassed as the United States American at my president falling asleep during a game. If you're going to fall asleep during a game and it's too much for you, just don't go. Okay?
I didn't plan to fall asleep. But here's something that you and I can agree on, okay? Personally, I don't like the fact that he added his name to the Kennedy Center. I don't like
which was illegal and was forced by
I'm just saying I don't like the idea. I don't like all the ego stuff. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's go to our first trivia question because I know you're going to know the answer to this. We're talking a little bit of literature here. Who was King Arthur's wizard? All right, who was King Arthur's wizard? And from the man who is quite the wizardry himself, Russell Jackman. I know he knows the answer to this. Audience, stay with us. Sports Econ will be right back with the spirited conversation. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here along with Russell Jackman. Boy, I tell you, this is a very spirited show today, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, well, you don't have your buddy Mike to back you up on any of this. So now that I have you one-on-one, I can actually take you to the mat here. Now, I'm not going to fight two people at once, but I can bring this up to you. Now, the second level, by the way, Merlin is the wizard, and do you know what his sister's name was?
The audience may forget. Who was King Arthur's wizard? The answer?
Merlin.
Merlin. Okay, that is correct.
Now, what was his sister's name?
Merlin's sister. I don't know.
She's a wizardess as well. Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay.
Okay, I didn't know. That's not part of my question, my friend.
Well, but it was all part of the Arthurian mythos. So if you know your Arthurian mythos, you'd know who Morgan Le Fay was. But anyway, getting back to this now, second.
By the way, you said you are correct. I did vote for Trump twice, and I'm going to vote for him a third time when he runs again.
Well, that'd be 4 times. And
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm going to vote for him.
Only an idiot would vote for anyone 4 times. You Republicans were the ones who stopped FDR from having a 5th term. You know, it's the Republicans are the ones who put the amendment in place.
You know that he wanted to pack the Supreme Court back then?
Good. I wish he had.
That brings up an interesting question. Let me ask you right now, because there's talk out there that if the Democrats get in, they're going to go ahead and pack the court. Let me ask you something. How would you feel if Trump ramrods adding 20 more Supreme Court justices, all right wing?
He won't have Congress's approval because he's not going to win Congress in November. That's
I mean, do it now. Just do it.
He can't. Remember, he doesn't have enough time. And he has a war that he has to fight. He has a war that he has no idea how to end. He has to fight that one. So let him.
That one I agree. I'm very
done enough damage with the justices he's nominated. Congress will never approve 20 other justices.
But if Democrats win the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they will do that. They maybe not 20, but I think they'll add what they want.
Watch my tears flow for you. Everything that the Republicans have coming to them, they've earned over the last 8 years.
Listen, I am not a John Thune. I think he's terrible. I don't think they've done enough. Anyway, let's go on. Let's go back.
I have another topic that involves Trump, and that is the embarrassment of the UFC fighting on the White House lawn. You know, he's booked. He's building an octagon. Trump has built an octagon on the right in front of the White House.
Okay, well, and I mean, what's to me that's not such a big deal. Why is that such a big deal?
Because
Yeah.
it's a total embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for a UFC fighting ring to be put in front of the White House. The White House has some sort of sanctity and decency, and you don't put a caged fight in front of the White House. Do you understand? There's a certain thing you earn when you become president, and you have to act with some level of decorum.
Yeah.
You don't put a fighting cage in front of the White House. That's barbaric. That's subhuman. Okay.
He's teased about leaving it up there like forever. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
What he's done to that front lawn? It's disgusting. And as an American, I'm absolutely offended by it.
What do you think about the ballroom?
Terrible, and it's something that he promised taxpayers wouldn't pay for, and now he's trying to turn around and make taxpayers pay for it.
Now, this is what I heard, and I'm just hearing it like third hand. He had enough people donate to it to have that done. It was Congress who said, no, we're going to fight you on this. You're not allowed to do that.
Because he shouldn't have done it without congressional approval. And he didn't do it with congressional approval.
You know what, though? I mean, if you look back
it's not his White House. He doesn't own the White House. The White House is not the president's property.
You can't keep cutting me off like that, okay? If you look at various presidents, was it Nixon who put a bowling alley in? Obama did a basketball court. Everybody does their. Here's the thing about
$900 million.
Here's the thing about, well, it's like 400 million, whatever it is. But here's the thing about the ballroom is, forget it being Trump. Even if Biden or Obama wanted to do it, I would totally support it because it needs to be.
They didn't. So it's more what about it?
They weren't smart enough to do it. There's when you have.
It's not smart at all.
And you talk about dignitaries and coming, and then having enough room. Where do people
hotels, and there are lots of other meeting places that you have.
This is going to get really challenging. You know what? We better just go back to regular sports because every time I start to say one thing, you cut me off.
It's what about it? And it's stuff
that doesn't invite intelligent conversation. This is
But you're not getting an intelligent conversation. You're making up straw men, and you're making up whataboutisms of other presidents that have nothing to do.
Just in general, I'm just saying that you hate Trump so much that if he cured cancer,
I do.
If he cured cancer, you would find a reason that cancer needs to.
He almost killed us all with Corona. He almost killed us with COVID. So he's not curing cancer anytime soon. He almost killed us all with COVID.
How did he kill us with COVID?
He wanted us to inject bleach into ourselves. He wanted to shine ultraviolet lights into it.
Russell,
I heard him say it.
Stop watching CNN.
So you can't undo that because that's what he wanted. No. He's been a disaster as far as RFK Jr. being part of the Surgeon General. He's a complete joke. He's saying everybody start eating beef fat. It's ridiculous. Trump is not solving cancer. Trump is not solving.
I didn't say he was solving. I said if he were to solve cancer, if he were to cure cancer, you would find it. That's a bad thing.
But he's not. I don't care. The guy thinks he's God. He posts pictures of himself.
There's a lot of things I don't like about him. I'm not in total agreement on everything.
I'm in agreement with nothing of his.
I know.
So yes, nothing you can do is ever going to make me approve of the many evil things he's done. He's an embarrassment. He shouldn't have gone to the game last night. He shouldn't have fallen asleep.
Russ, this is the reason why you and I shouldn't talk about this is because no matter what he does, just like, I have an open enough mind that if and when Biden had done something good, I would give him credit for it if I thought it was good. But the thing is,
bringing up shameful examples of behavior. I am bringing up shameful examples of behavior. Shameful.
Okay,
and you're just trying to deflect it onto something else. And that's shameful for you too, Edward. That's shameful for you.
The ballroom to me is more of a security thing, and it needs to get done because the rooms that they have right now are too small to have a big enough.
He's so afraid of security. Why do you show up at a basketball game? You're so afraid of your own security. You're so afraid of it. Why do you go to a basketball game and inconvenience everybody who goes? Because you're selfish. That's why you do it. You
Listen,
want people to pay.
listen, I don't disagree with the frustration on that. I remember getting very frustrated in Vegas, having to wait for an airplane for an extra 2 or 3 hours because Obama happened to be coming in on some stupid airplane for some stupid reason, and all of us had to suffer for hours waiting in the airport. And so, yeah, it's a total inconvenience when that kind of stuff happens. That's with all presidents. Okay, okay, let's go back to sports for a minute. All right, so the Knicks are going to play one more time on Wednesday night. Who's your prediction for that game?
Spurs, I want them to win. I want it to be an even up series. I mean, I want it to go to game 7. If they lose game 4, it's a 3-1. There's no way they're going to win 3 games in a row against the Knicks. They have to find a way to win.
I mean, it's very. I was hoping for the Spurs just because I wanted to go. I want to go 7 games just because I want to see more basketball. You know, but is it that you just don't like New York in general, or you like the Spurs?
No, I'm surprised at New York being as good as they are, but it's not that I have anything that I dislike about them or their players. I do like Wembanyama. I mean, I think he's the true like star of the future for the NBA, and I like the youth and the skill of San Antonio and the way they stopped Oklahoma City. I thought Oklahoma City was going to win it all again. So knowing that San Antonio beat Oklahoma City, I figured San Antonio should be able to beat New York. But New York had lots and lots of time off, and they've been just chewing up everybody. So including, that first double-digit win against the Spurs. But the Spurs should have won game 2. Game 2 was one that Wem will be thinking about probably till he's an old man.
And
he's probably going to be, he's going to think about like the turnover, the missed shot at the end where he had a decent look at the basket, but he couldn't get in. He also wasn't playing inside like he was in game 3. And game 3, I think he came to the realization he has to do more inside shooting, not be in love with the 3-point shot. The 3-point shot is amazing when he hits it, but more times than not, when he shoots it, he's way out of position. He can't help rebound, and he can't, he's not in a good position to get back and block the shot.
Here's the other thing is that when the other players have the ball, he really needs to be inside to get those rebounds.
Yeah, because San Antonio, other than they don't really have another great rebounder other than Cornette. So they are really relying on him as being their main rebounder, and he should be able to get most of the rebounds, even over guys like Robert Williams. Robinson and
it's funny. I look at the way Mitchell Robinson shoots the ball, and he's like just throwing it straight ahead. Why? He's only like a 37% free throw shooter. Why doesn't he just throw it arc the ball?
That was always a big issue of Rick Barry, is that he wanted to teach people how to use the granny free throw.
Yeah,
and
even if you're 6'9" or whatever tall he is, there's a physics issue of the percentage of the ball going through the hoop when it goes at a certain arc versus if you're just throwing it straight out there. Okay, tell you what. Here's our second trivia question. You will know this. There's no way I would know it because I never watched them. What was the name of the pet owl owned by Harry Potter? All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. I'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'll tell you, today is definitely a spirited conversation. You've got Edward Brown on the right side and Russell Jackman on the wrong side. I mean, on the left side. Second trivia question. What was the name of the pet owl owned by Harry Potter?
Hegsworth. Or wait a minute. It's
close. You're close.
Yeah, it's Hedwig.
Hedwig.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll give you 30%.
Well, that's also from the play Hedwig and the Angry Inch, but you don't want to talk about trans stuff, so we won't talk about trans stuff.
Yeah, off the air audience, I told Russell that he would know the answer to this because I thought he was a Harry Potter fan, but then he mentioned that he's no longer a J.K. Rowling fan. I says because she's anti-trans, and he said yes. And so I said, okay, well, And then let's kind of get back into sports, and maybe someday we'll get into that other topic because.
Mm, yeah, no. Okay, another sports topic, although it's not really a sports topic, but it does have to do with econ, and that is the strange case unfolding of Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, give us educate us on that.
Well, remember when I brought up the fact that he drove past the stadium at 100 miles per hour and he took a video of himself?
Oh yeah.
That was like in November, right?
That long ago. Okay, all right.
Well, the Santa Clara Police Department decided to issue an arrest warrant for him because they have proof of him going 100 miles per hour on a public road.
You know what though? I wonder how that works because if you don't get caught, I mean, I understand he's incriminating himself by doing that. Well, just like Hunter Biden did the same thing, but I don't think anybody got
What
him.
did Hunter Biden video himself breaking the law and then put it on Instagram?
He took a picture of the speedometer. It was like 140 or something. It was something ridiculously high. Anyway,
Yeah.
but you're talking about Ayuk. Okay, so they're going to issue a arrest warrant.
Yes, and then he publishes another like in a social media post where he like was calling out the 49ers and calling them, female cats and female dogs and he's still part of the 49ers property. The 49ers still own his contract.
For how long?
Till I think September. So
He was under contract. Gosh, that was like 3-4 years. I guess.
yes. So I mean it would if they release him by September, then they don't owe him any bonuses or anything like that. But they don't have to do anything till September.
But they still have to pay him now, though, don't they?
No, because he failed.
Wait. You can own because I'm not that familiar with this part of it. Okay, so you can own a guy's contract where you don't have to play him or pay him, but you can't. But
Nope, because he missed his own requirements for going to practices and doing physical rehab and making team meetings. So he violated all those elements of it. But that doesn't.
Usually, I'm not. I don't like all these unions and player type stuff because I think sometimes I know owners take advantage too, but usually it seems to me it's a little bit one side or the other way. But in this case, and again, maybe I'm looking at things wrong. If a guy violates his contract and he doesn't get paid, it seems to me that it'd be unfair to him to hold him up from going to some other team.
It's the exact opposite. Edward. You're on the exact wrong track again. You're I gotta say consistent, but no, it's the other way around. He has obligations to fulfill. Okay. He did not fulfill his obligations. By not fulfilling his obligations, he shouldn't get the benefit of being able to become a free agent. His contract still holds him to the agency of the 49ers.
Yeah,
because they've done that.
Well, hold on. It's like when you have to do specific performance because you're the guy, right? It's like if I'm a professional baseball player, I can't say, well, I'm just going to substitute Joe Blow in for me because I want him to do that. I've got to fulfill that obligation. But if I don't, then in theory, I should get fired, right?
No, that's not it at all. You don't become an automatic free agent because you're uncooperative to your contractual needs. You don't suddenly get the benefit of becoming a free agent. You got to earn free agency. Okay, free agency is something that is earned. You're not entitled to that.
I'm just trying to think of it out loud here for a non-sports thing. Like, if I have a contract to work for a company, and I guess here's the issue: is that in theory, if I quit or whatever, and I work for a competitor, which I guess any other team is a competitor.
Yes.
Then that would be unfair to the 49ers.
You got it.
Gotcha. Okay, so
and he didn't fulfill his end of the bargain. He did not fulfill it. The
Well, again,
49ers,
I'm not an Ayuk fan because of all that. I was just trying to think out loud of how that works.
but he has an obligation
Yeah.
to, to earn free agency and to get out of that contract. He had to meet his incentives. He did
So by,
not do that at
so
all.
by him breaching the contract, not only does he not get paid his any dollars, but he also is stuck until
Yes,
the contract is up, unless the 49ers allow him out.
that is exactly it. Or
Yes,
another team trades for him or something.
the trades
You know,
for him.
if they, yeah,
Gotcha.
right
Yeah,
now. But
I get it. I was just sort of thinking out loud about that, and
but he's made himself so unattractive
yeah,
to all these other teams by acting like this.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
what other
Wouldn't want
team
him.
is going to want a guy that does all this and that is such a pain in the ass, and he might be doing jail time for felonious speeding.
The thing is, if it's, I mean, how long has he been out of football now? For almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unless he's been keeping himself trained and in shape and all that
No,
kind
he
of.
didn't. That was the problem. That's the you're getting back circular to why the 49ers are doing this to him because he didn't keep
No, no,
up.
no. What I mean is, okay, let's say just for Ducks, he doesn't want to go to team meetings, but he just keeps going to the gym, working out, and all that kind of stuff. The problem is, even if you do that, it's playing with a team is different than working out in the gym.
Right, and he's made himself untradeable. That's the other side of it, is that by taking those actions, he also has kept the 49ers from being able to trade him easily. So,
Yeah.
so by doing that, the 49ers are responding by saying, we're not letting you, we're just going to let you hang on the vine, and we're not going to try to trade you until September. And then you become a free agent, but you're going to lose out. He was going to get $23 million from the 49ers, and he's probably going to get $23
Hoopers.
from
Now
whoever
the
wants.
only thing is that I guess he does take a roster spot for now because of that, though. So the 49ers
Yes.
are basically saying we're going to waste a spot for
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but of course, once he's gone in September, they'll fill that spot back up quickly.
Correct. Correct.
So,
You think
but
he'll
they've
go?
got the wide
You think-
receiver core right now. They don't really need it.
And yeah, that's true. And then I think didn't he have an ACL tear? The whole idea
Yes.
with
It was both an ACL and an MCL tear. It was pretty severe. So
severe.
no one, that's another disincentive for teams to want to trade for him is that, there's no guarantee that after 2 years, he hasn't been rehabbing it correctly. And he's got a terrible attitude. It's going to be hard for him to be picked up by another team.
Yeah. So is his career going to go the way of Kaepernick?
Worse, I think it's going to be like the guy for the Steelers. What's his name? I forgot his name. The running back for the Steelers. I'm blanking.
Not Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell. Yes, his career is going to go like Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, but he at least went to the Jets though, and made a bunch of money, and then he got.
His career ended when he went to the Jets.
But at least but didn't he make money going there? And at least he played for a little
I
bit?
guess so, because the Jets are that stupid. They'd probably be stupid enough to pick up Brandon Ayuk. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that goes. But he's a guy that's completely sabotaged his career, and he might be in jail. That's the other thing. Is if he's guilty of felonious speeding. Yeah, if he's guilty of felonious speeding, that could be that's not just a fine. That's actual jail time.
Yeah, when you go that many miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, it is a felony.
I mean, thank goodness he didn't kill anybody. But what? I wonder how much money he made while he was playing. I'm sure he made
Not as much as he wanted to, although he would have made a lot, but he sabotaged himself right before the time was where his big payoff was going to happen. So
what, I mean, obviously we're only speculating here, but I wonder, like coming back from that kind of an injury, if that really kind of puts the scare into you. Like I remember when Garoppolo came back from his injury, you could tell he was a little bit of a giddy up.
Well, there's talk that Kittle wants to be ready for game 1 of this season. So he's a guy that had a year-long prognosis on his injury, and he's going to try to come back in about 6 months worth of rehab. So, you can say how scared you want, but I've seen a lot of other guys. Look at Kevin Durant. Look at Klay Thompson. Look at, guys that were
And
much
Curry,
older than him that
Curry's
got,
coming time
major
soon.
injuries, and they've come back and they've played hard, maybe not as well as they did, but they're still playing hard, many years after that sort of thing. So I don't know. I mean, Ayuk, I think most of the injury is in his head. It's
Yes.
not in his knee. So that's my conclusion.
Well, all right. Any other sports? Anything else with basketball, football, or baseball?
Let's see. Well, baseball has been, the disaster of the Giants unfolding. They probably won 2 games since we last were on air.
Well, they did have like a blowout of the Cubs. They did do
I
that.
know, but then they go out and lose last night, and their bullpen is the worst I've ever seen, and they're unfortunately looking like they might be another 100-loss team this year, which really bodes ill for Buster Posey. I think a lot of this is reflecting very poorly on his ability, and he gambled on Vitello being a savior for the
Yeah.
team, and instead he's been a disaster.
Well, that's it's so hard because it still always comes down to the players performing. You can, I mean, unless you're making really stupid manager decisions, like hit and run or whatever, and you shouldn't, that sort of thing. But the pitchers are going to pitch and hitters are going to hit, and if they
Yeah,
don't,
but he shouldn't be trusting our bullpen at all for anything. And I hate to say it, Webb probably has to start pitching complete games from now on if he wants to get a win. He's going to have to pitch a complete game because our bullpen is embarrassing and disgusting and has given up nine walk-off hits, nine walk-off hits or losses in the 9th inning this year.
all right.
That's
Hey,
a
let's
lot.
go to our last trivia question. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was the first book in which series? And here's our silly pun of the week. Purple is my favorite color. I like it much better than red and yellow combined. All right. Audience, stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. Don't touch that dial. We are going to be back with some closing comments. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here for the last time, and Russell Jackman for the last time for today on this spirited show. I don't think we had one quite this spirited before, but it kind of calmed down in the third segment. And our third trivia question: The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was the first book in which series?
It's Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll give you credit for that. Any last words before we cut out there, my friend? Yeah, sport related.
Yeah, no, I mean it's getting to be the tough time of the year with really the only thing that's going to be covering the summer, especially with baseball for me being in the rear view mirror, is going to be the World Cup, and I'm not a big World Cup guy, so
Yeah, me either. Yeah, that'll
so
be interesting. Yeah, quite interesting.
yeah, so I'm
Okay,
just gonna grit my teeth and hope that football comes real soon.
exactly. All right. Here's our thoughts for the day. So I was walking down the street this morning, and first I got hit by a violin, then a clarinet, and then a piano. I think this was an orchestrated attack. And today I told my supervisor I need a raise. I got 3 companies wanting me. He asked, well, which ones? I told him light, gas, and water. They're all after
Right,
me. All right.
right,
So
but they're not there to give you a paycheck. They want to take your paycheck.
that's it. You caught that. You're very smart. How'd you get, you know what? How'd you get me so smart there, my friend?
Spinach.
Spinach. Strength and smarts. All right. Audience, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective. Who knows? Maybe we'll even talk about some more politics. You never know. And asking more trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
So long.